Peace, prosperity, and abundance. Peace, prosperity, and abundance. Grand Rising, and how are you all doing? Earth Goddess Gang, y'all know what it is. And for newcomers, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you grab a seat, grab a snack, grab a drink, pull up a chair, and tune in for the rest of the show. Alright, family, as you all know, today we're going to go ahead and jump into the sun and the 7th and 8th house. But right before we get in there, we're going to go ahead and jump into our affirmations, word of the day. So, I'm going to take this sip of water. Alright, family, let's hop right into it. Okay, as y'all can see, my little decorative jar. I know it's random, but it's all me. Oh, there was one missing too. Alright, let me go ahead and see what we get out of here. Okay, so let's do 3. Okay, let's see what this first one say. Ooh. I am worthy. I am worthy. Ooh. Second one, self-awareness. And the third one, I think we had this one before. Be bold. Okay, family, so let's go ahead and hop into this first one of I am worthy. I don't know who needs to hear this or who is currently maybe experiencing feelings of unworthiness or whatever. You are always worth it. You are always worthy no matter what stage you are in your life. You're always worth it. And you have to make sure you remind yourself of this when you are in, say, maybe a place in your life where you don't feel the best. So make sure that you understand and know that you're worthy no matter where you are in life. I don't know who needs to hear that, but hopefully you get this message and it helps you. And the second one, which to me goes hand in hand with this one, is self-awareness. Only through self-awareness we can heal ourselves. Only through self-awareness we can see our worth. We can be worthy. So through self-awareness is the key to many things. Through self-awareness is the key to removing and releasing any blockages. Through self-awareness awaits your best life. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but make sure you practice self-awareness in all things that you do. And if you are maybe suffering, not suffering, or say having issues with, lack of self-awareness, that's when you need to find exercises that will help you be more in tune with the self, aka nature, meditation, and actually listening probably to guided meditations first to kind of give you an ideal and a feel for how to go into actually you're comfortable just sitting in meditation with just the music without the guidance. So meditation, nature, those are some things that you can practice to bring more self-awareness. And what that does is basically quiet your mind so that more of things that you're not aware of can actually come to the surface. Okay, and the third one is be bold. I'm a definite advocate for this. Be bold. Do not be shy. Do not hide. Do not be ashamed in anything that you do. Be bold. Take the leap. Even when everything around you says, don't be bold, don't take the leap, do it. Be bold, because when you be bold, you never know what opportunity that you may run into, and it can be an opportunity for a lifetime. So be bold in all things that you do. And of course, be bold in things that are positive. All right, family, so let's hop into it. Okay, so we know that the sun basically represents your ego, your vitality, how you show up in the world. So when you have the sun entering into the 7th house, remember the 7th house is dealing with marriages, partnerships of many different kinds. So when you have such powerful energy, coming into the 7th house, the sole purpose here for these beings is to express themselves through many different partnerships, and that can be relationship partnerships, business partnerships, or even enemies as well. So if you want to know what a few sun and 7th house celebs looks like, here are a few celebs. All right. Now, with the seven in Sun house, um, the great qualities with this placement, these people can be very good at, like administrative duties, anything that's dealing with a group of people to where they feel like they can bring balance and fairness and make it okay for everyone. Remember, this is the sign, not the sign, but the house of partnerships and marriages and just doing things within a partner or a group setting. So any career where these people can, bring peace, make things equal. The sun in seventh house natives will shine in this area. Also, fighting for a cause, they're good on that too. They're good for that too because these things are very near and dear to their heart. Now, the negative aspects of the sun in seventh house can be they can be too dependent because this is again the partnership sign. So if they're not really secure within themselves, depending also what sign is in the seventh and the sun, they can be highly dependent on other people and not having enough confidence within themselves to do things. Or they are very clingy and hold on to their relationships as well. Or, they can be people pleasers in a sense. I know we've all run across these type of people in our life to where, they're like afraid to say no or rock the boat or disagree because they feel like if they do they'll lose everyone around them, or they have a fear of being alone. So these are some of the negative traits that can come with the sun in seventh house if they're not really secure within themselves. So my career choices for a sun in seventh house, because these people are so like people oriented, anything dealing with people, whether it's a school counselor, your guidance counselor, teachers, counselors of many kinds. So anything dealing with just like people and partnerships, the sun and seventh house people will thrive in. So my advice to the sun and seventh house people is don't lose yourself in your partnerships. Understand that you do not need your partnerships to survive and that you are fine without these partnerships. So do not lose your identity in these partnerships. And also remember that you do not need anyone or anything to complete anything. Even though you feel this way because your sun is in the seventh house, this is not needed. So just make sure that a lot of your actions and beliefs and all that comes from an eternal place. So when you there share yourself with, say, a business partner or a group of people, you won't feel so, how can I put it, empty or lacking when certain relationships or things may not work out, or you may not be able to proceed further in these relationships. So that was it for the sun and seventh house family. Make sure you sit for the sun and eighth house upload. Peace, peace. All right, let's get it. Let's jump into the sun and eighth house. Now, we all know the sun represents vitality, ego, how you show up in the world. And basically, the sun energy is going right into the eighth house. Now, when you have the eighth house represents basically taxes, death, rebirth, transformation, shared possessions, basically a lot of serious things going on in this house. So when you have the sun entering in the eighth house, normally you have an individual who's a little bit naturally secretive by nature. And if you want to know what a few sun and eighth house celebrities look like, here are a few celebs. All right, now let's back to the sun in the eighth house. Now, with natives with the sun in the eighth house, positive traits for these people, I know these people happen to be very mystical, very mysterious in their appearance. So they would be, in my opinion, you know, I would think these people would be have a great interest in anything dealing with the occult and things of that matter, because I mean their sun is like directly right here. So I would see that naturally they would probably have a gift when it comes to anything dealing with the occult. Also, they can be very intuitive. So it'll be kind of hard to lie to these people because, I mean, look, sun in the eighth house. So they can also be very good at keeping secrets as well. So, if you are a person who likes to tell their business, and, if you tell it to a sun and eighth house person, they'll probably never tell the secret. They'll probably take it to their grave. So that is another positive trait. Also with the sun and eighth house people, um, again, this is just an opinion. I feel that being that they have to experience so much of the heavy stuff because the sun is in the first house, that a lot of the time, as much as they would try to keep these things, out of the public eye or hidden, it'll probably not end up being as hidden or from the public like they would like because the sun is residing here. Now, if this is negatively aspected, these people can be very untrusting of other people. They can be emotionless to loved ones. And I know a few sun and eighth house people, and I can definitely say that is true when it comes to like emotions and people they are close to. They're really not the most emotional people. So therefore the loved ones or people close to them will have a hard time really knowing how they really feel about them because they really don't express it through their emotions. So they'll probably express it through other ways and means, but not just in an emotional way. So also too, I feel like with being the sun has so much heavy energy within this placement that these people could be very sensitive. And to me, it kind of goes against everything else I just said, because it's like these people, they can come off as stoic or you know just not the best personality wise, but they're very sensitive. So it's like, okay, well, it's like, don't be so sensitive if you come off this way. But anywho, I'm babbling. So careers for eighth and sun house people, eighth house and sun people, because I'm getting tongue tied. They would be good administrators. Anything they would be any people who deal with the morgues. I guess the people who deal with the dead. They would be good in that career. They'll be good detectives because, I mean, again, this deals with attention to detail. You know, not dealing with any emotions. So the sun and eighth house people would be very good investigators, detectives. So anything worth working within the government, I believe they would thrive at. You know, so for me, I feel the whole advice here for the sun and eighth house people is to embrace it, basically embrace the taboo subjects of life, because your sun is directly here in the eighth house and you're going to have to experience it whether you want to or not. So instead of running away from these things, whether it be death, sex, taxes, or your spouse's money or anything of that nature, just a lot of those serious heavy topics, don't run away from them, because on a soul level you're meant to embrace these things. And within, when you embrace these things, you may find that your greatest strength and power lays within these darker or heavier things that other people may shy or run away from. So embrace it. That would be my advice to the sun in eighth house. Embrace the taboos of life. You'll find your goal and basically your awakening and your jewels there. So that was it for the sun in eighth house portion, family, and I will see you all in the next upload.